I don't know if it's working now. I'm not sure what's going on. Can you hear me? I think this may be a good time to send out messages again to people in the groups since we were live before and it went up. It's working now. Okay, let's give it a few minutes for people to join and then we can start. We've already spent 20 what minutes trying to handle this technical issue that we experienced. Okay. We're here, we're just about to start. Let's give it a few minutes so that other people who tried to join earlier on and I think we can start wherever people join us because it's Friday. I said today's session will only be for 45 minutes. But wherever people join us, they'll meet us there. Let me know with a thumbs up if you can still hear me. Just put that in the comment section and we'll go from there. Can you still hear? Let me know in the comment section and then we can start. I hope you've had a good week. It's Democracy Day in Nigeria. And so today was more or less a public holiday for a lot of people. So I hope you've had a good week. And I know a lot is happening around us. Yeah. Okay. If you have any colleagues that you want to join this session, this is a good time to get them to join this session. It's not our regular teaching sessions. Okay? Hearing me? Yeah, are we good to go? Okay, let's take it away. I don't want to keep us for too long, but let's take it away immediately. So, there are a few things. It's a public holiday for some people. Some people are sad. People are still in children in the bush, teachers kidnapped. I saw a video a few days ago. And a teacher was saying, see, the children I'm teaching, if I'm kidnapped, I have no means to pay them. And a lot of people are living in fear. There's a lot of fear, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of worrying. People are sad. Things are not going the way they expected. Our leaders have promised us so much and, maybe not lived up to, or not lived up to the promises they made to us. But beyond that, beyond that, and I don't want to begin with politics. That's not even the essence of today's call. I actually don't want to begin with politics. I don't want to even begin with the elections. It's been a heavy season. This past how many? It's about almost 3 weeks now. These people have been in captivity. I don't even want to begin with government. There's a lot to say. Okay. I want us to just take a deep breath first. And I want us to begin with something deeper than government, politics, and all that is happening around us. If you can just shut your mind, I know it's difficult for a lot of our teachers. Just take your mind off what has been happening for a few minutes. Let's just be present in this session. Okay. Now there's a book I have here, and it is Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I especially like that book because he asked a very important question. He says that the most important question a person can ask is not what do I want, but why am I here? Why am I here? And I think that that's a very good place for us to begin tonight. Okay. Um, why are you here? It's not just for you personally, it's for all of us together. Why are we here? Not necessarily why are we here on this call, but why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you still teaching? Why are you here? Why are you still an African educator? Why are you still doing what you're doing in these very difficult times, in this generation, in this moment? Why are you still doing what you're doing? Why am I here with you? Why am I not doing something else? Why do I think that I still owe it as a responsibility to educators to show up this evening? Why? And you see, why is one of the most important questions anybody can ask. Anybody is one of the most important questions you can ask. You can ask yourself. I mean, you see your students as well. Some of them, especially those that have like 2 or 3 year olds or toddlers, they are constantly asking you the question, why? So I want you to pause for a few minutes and ask yourself, why am I here? Why am I still an educator? Why am I still teaching? Why have I not packed my bag? Why do I see the need to still help out in children's church? Why are you doing what you're doing? That's one of the most important questions you can ask. Just take a moment, and if you have a sheet of paper, write it. Don't say, what do I want? Start with why. Why are you still in Gombe or Yola? Why are you still doing what you're doing? So take a few minutes and ask that question and answer it. Can everybody still hear me? Can you still hear me? I don't have any set of slides, so I'm just going to speak to you from my heart. Why are you here? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you still an African educator? Why are you still in that remote school? Why are you still doing what you're doing in this generation? Why are you doing it in this moment with all the uncertainty? Why? Why? Just 1 minute to write it. So there's something. If you're familiar with Napoleon Hill, he spent more than 20 years studying some of the most effective human beings of the 20th century. And his work involved studying different industries, studying different countries, studying different backgrounds, studying people. And one of the things he defined and discovered was that something they all shared is a major definite purpose. A major definite purpose. One of the things that he also uncovered was that people had a clear answer to the question, what am I here to produce? Not what I hope to produce. What am I here to produce? Not what I wish to produce. What am I here to produce? Not what have I decided to produce. And he said that a person without a major definite purpose is like a ship without a rudder. It will continue moving. It may move faster. So the problem is this. If there's movement without direction, then you have confusion, energetic confusion. And I want us to sit with a few things that may be very uncomfortable this evening. African education has been moving. Things are still happening. People are still building schools with people in the forest. We still have curriculum to be delivered. Many millions of graduates and billions have been, graduated. Examinations are still being conducted. You see, WAEC is holding. JAMB held a few weeks ago. Certificates are still being produced. But we need to stop and ask ourselves, to what end are we doing all these things? What kind of human being is this entire system designed to produce? What kind of human being is this system designed to produce? All these things I'm doing, what kind of human being am I producing? What kind of human being am I producing? In year 2000, Barack Obama, he said something that really struck me. We are the ones we have been waiting for. If you're on this call, you're the one Africa has been waiting for. We're not waiting for a savior. We're not waiting for a miracle. We're not waiting for foreign intervention. We're not waiting for aid from anywhere. We're not waiting for a different government. Nobody's coming to save us. We're not waiting for a perfect curriculum. We're the ones that would bring the change that we decide. So I want us to take some things we'll learn somehow, because I've not learned somehow, but it's taking me time to get to this point to even have this conversation. We're the ones. Africa has been waiting for us. Nigeria has been waiting for us. Let's stop abdicating responsibility to other people. If I ask you now, how many people want a better Nigeria? Almost everybody will raise their hands. I want a better Nigeria. I want a better Africa. But if I ask you, what does a better Nigeria look like? What would you say? What would a better Nigeria look like? Would it look like less corruption? Would it look like better leaders? Would it look like no more kidnapping? Would it look like safer streets? Would it look like more opportunities, more jobs, better pay? I don't know what your answer is, but I want you to put it in the comment section. If I asked you now, what would a better Nigeria look like for you? What would you say? What would you say? I'm looking at your comments on YouTube now, so I'm just looking at my device here. What would a better Nigeria look like for you? I may have named some of the things that you truly desire, but it may actually not be all of it. So what does a better Nigeria look like for you? I want it in the comment section. This is a serious meeting, and I said it's TTT General Meeting. What's your ideal state for Nigeria? What would it look like for you? What would it look like for you? Let's use the comments, What would a better Nigeria look like for you? Happier people, peace, a country where systems work. Let's keep it coming. What would a better Nigeria look like for you? Growth. Let's keep it coming. What does a better Nigeria look like for you? Accountability for choices made. There is zero corruption, zero nepotism, zero tribalism, safe and peaceful land. A place where our kids are not afraid to go to school. Where your vote counts. Where lives matter. Keep them coming. I'm looking. Hmm. Yeah. A country where human rights are upheld. Better Nigeria is raising a people with knowledge and illumination. Safe, peaceful, and a land with plenty of opportunities. A country where your tax is same. A country where education and health is priority. Where security is granted, better leaders, more job opportunities, more productive, and technology advanced country. Keep them coming. Justice is fair no matter what. Prosperous and safe place. Leaders in every sector having the fear of God. Pension is paid. Where there's peace, unity. A better Nigeria for me is a country with moral values, empathy, and growth for all. A country full of justice for all. Our hearts are crying for the same thing. And this, spirals across different African countries. Our hearts are crying for the same thing, where human lives matter. Now, let me say something to you. Every single thing you have mentioned is produced by human beings. Every single thing you have mentioned is produced by human beings. You're still mentioning them. Keep them coming. Where natural resources are used appropriately, a place of equality. Everything you're mentioning is produced by human beings. See, corruption is what? A human problem. The leadership that we're crying about today is a human problem. Character is a human problem. Violence is a human problem. Justice is a human problem. Are you understanding me? These things are human problems. They are being created by humans like you and me. And so if human beings can create wicked problems, how much more you, a teacher? We haven't even gotten to that point yet. I don't have anything. I'm just going to speak to you from my heart. Whatever you can catch, but there are 5 important things that I have jotted here, and I'm going to say them to you. Every single thing you are mentioning, I'm looking. So when you see me look here or here, I'm looking at a device. Every single thing that you're typing in the chat is a human problem. They are all human problems. Let me tell you something. The leaders we have today, before they became adults, and even you and myself, we were all children. The bandits you hear of today, because you will not see them, you will not see them. The bandits you hear of, because trouble is going to be very far from you. Those people were once children. Are you understanding me? So before all of these people who created these problems existed as adults, they were once children. Before we looked at them as citizens of a country, they were once students. Before we released them to society, they once, stayed in classrooms. Let me say this to you. The doctor entered society through a classroom. The engineer you see today entered society what? Through a classroom. The president you see today entered society what? Through a classroom. Whether formal classroom in his house or, classroom in school, they all enter through classrooms. They all pass through schools. The engineers, the entrepreneurs, they all pass through schools. So everyone entered society through a classroom. Everyone. What am I trying to say? Every teacher is standing at the gate of tomorrow. Every teacher, everyone who has the capacity to transmit knowledge, to give knowledge is standing at the gate of tomorrow, whether with your children, whether with your biological children, or the children you teach in school, or the students you teach in your university, or those you meet in church. Every person who has the ability, who regards themselves as a teacher or as an educator, is standing at the gate of tomorrow. Now, when we want to now ask ourselves what kind of country we want, the first thing we should ask ourselves is what kind of human beings are we producing? Because it's the kind of human beings that we are producing that are being released to society. Bandits were produced by somebody. They were produced by a system. Please, are we following? I'm not looking now, unless I go back. Are we following? Every teacher is standing at the gate of tomorrow. What kind of human being are you producing? Because, well, we've mentioned different human problems, different wicked human problems. But we need to start asking ourselves deeper ones. What kind of human beings are we producing? What kind? And each time you want to do anything as a teacher, each time I've read different stories this week, last week, and I'll go back to my team and I'm having conversations with them. And I will sleep and I'll wake up and I'll still wake up so burdened. The thing is, I'm not asking you about politicians. You see, sorry, not even before I even go into the politician aspect. If you think about the kind of human being you're producing, you will be conscious of how you deliver your lectures. You'll be conscious of how you deliver your classes. You'll be conscious of the relationships you have with your students. What kind of human being are you producing? Between Monday and Thursday, you taught people. For those who are children's teachers in church or who work with children in mosque or religious settings, you're going to meet children over the weekend. So that's a question you must always ask yourself before you start your lesson and before you end it. What kind of human being am I about to produce? After the lesson, what kind of human being have I just produced? All of us are inside this question, including myself. All of us. All of us are inside this question. There's no scapegoat. I'm not trying to apportion blames to politicians or all of us, this question, we're all inside it. So I want to speak first. My first thing is to speak first to a particular teacher who is on this call before we even go into the meat of this night. There's a particular teacher on this call, and it's the teacher that nobody sees, nobody regards. Many times you wake up, maybe you're in Lagos, you move from one end of Lagos to the other end of Lagos very early, 4 a.m. Perhaps you even arrive before others. So I worked in Lagos and I know what it is to get into those crazy traffics. Sometimes you carry your bag. When you go to school, you're already early. You now do your makeup, pack your hair, all of those things. I want to speak to the teacher who arrives before everyone else, the one no one notices, the one who is, thinking about tomorrow, worried. The teacher who has poured years into students, into children, and perhaps nobody has ever come back to say thank you. Some of those children will never say thank you. I want to speak to the teacher who has sacrificed so much, the one who has prayed, the one who has questioned whether their effort is worth it. And I really hope that you hear me. Every single thing you're doing matters. Everything you've done in the past matters. Every single thing. Sometimes we discount ourselves a lot. And so you look, the world is celebrating celebrities. But let me say something to you. You see, those of you that are intentionally building your learners, heaven is taking note. Heaven is taking notes. Many of you may have seen the movie Lean on Me. And we saw when Mr. Clark did not give up on some of you. He said they could do that exam. Some of you have, given hope to students. Never discount yourself from the celebration process. You may not have the following or the metrics with which people now, look at, I don't know, look at, let me say impact. I don't know what to call it. Social media, sure. Yes. The world is applauding people who stand on stages. But I want to let you know that you're shaping history in your classrooms. You're shaping history. So there are people now. The other day, my son had an accident in the pool, and it was a surgeon that stitched him. And I was, interacting with her and all of that. A surgeon is saving lives because a teacher believed in them. A teacher believed in them. Some mothers are raising children because a teacher spoke life differently into her. So for that teacher that is feeling unseen, unheard, misunderstood, I just hope this strengthens your heart and gives you peace. You may never receive gratitude. You may never receive gratitude. You may never know the outcome. You may never witness the harvest. But what I want to let you know is that that seed you have sown became a tree. That seed of mathematics you were teaching, that seed of English, biology, intentionally, not just teaching it haphazardly, intentionally, that seed you were sowing, or that seed you sowed has become a tree. So please don't look down on yourself. I always say that you're in the profession that makes every other profession. But I also want to say this. Education is actually one of the few professions where people spend decades planting and they may never sit beneath those trees they've planted. But keep planting, keep teaching, keep hoping, keep believing. Don't say because you're not sure whether at the end of the term you're going to get any recognition from parents, you won't keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing it. Okay? I don't know who that is for. Keep going. Now, I want you to think of something. Who is the teacher that shaped you? I want you to think of just one teacher. I'm not interested in the most qualified teacher, the smartest teacher. I'm talking about the teacher who changed you, the teacher whose name you can still remember, the teacher whose influence, you followed. Maybe it was even her style of dressing or because she wore a smile. I want you to think for 30 seconds, who is that teacher that shaped you? What did they teach you? Some of us may not remember. Some of us may not remember. You may not even remember what lesson, or what note you copied, whatever. You may not remember. But I want you to think of that teacher. What was it that she did or he did? You may not remember every exam you took when you were going through school, but you may remember how they made you feel. I've told you a few stories for those who have followed me long enough. I've told you a few stories of teachers who shaped me. And some of the things, how they believed in us, the things they believed about us, our capabilities, the things they awakened inside us, the things that they saw in us before other people even saw them. I want you to think of that teacher and start thinking of how you're going to teach in the coming week. See, the real curriculum is not information. The real curriculum is formation. I'll say it again. The real curriculum is not information. The real curriculum is formation. Some of my greatest teachers in life, apart from the classroom, have been my parents. And if you're a parent on this call, I hope this is a wake-up call for you. There were things my mom said to me that till my tomorrow, I can never forget. She would tell me, don't be content with little. And when she said, don't be, I'll just look at myself. I say, am I being content with little here? I'll get 9/10. She'll say, you did well, but don't be content with little. I want to tell you today, you have no ceiling. Don't place a ceiling on yourself. And you have that same power to form another child. The real curriculum is not information, it is formation. The real curriculum is not content, it is possibility. The real curriculum is not fact, it is identity. I said 3 things. The real curriculum is what? Not information, but formation. Is not content, but possibility. Is not fact, is identity. And I want that to start shaping how you teach your students. Last year, there was a professor I know, and he had worked so hard, a Nigerian professor. He had worked so hard during his PhD, diligent with his delivery and all of that. And then one day he called me, he said, Dr. Kachi, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And he said, you know, I always call you when I want to get some advice from you. I said, yeah. He said, after 40 something years of my PhD, I got recognition from he called the name of the university for research he did 40 something years ago. See, man may forget, but God never forgets. And so you need to understand what you're planting in your students. You need to understand what you're planting in your students. I hope that is clear. You need to understand. Are you following me on YouTube? Let me see. Your reward is here on earth and in heaven. Don't just be believing this thing that is going to be in heaven. You will be alive to reap it. And I want you to say amen. You will be alive provided you're diligent. You will be alive to reap it. Say amen. It's not going to happen in another lifetime. You will be alive to reap it. Okay? And if you remember those teachers who have formed you, if you can, reconnect with them, take some time to go and say thank you to them. Thank them for what they formed and forged in you. Thank them for what they formed and forged in you. Okay? Now, the third thing I want to talk about, I'm just checking my notes. Nations are built twice. Every nation is built twice. And I want you to write that down. Every nation is done what? Built twice. The first place a nation is built is in imagination. The second place a nation is built is in reality. I want you to write that down. Every nation is built twice. First, in imagination. Second, in reality. Why am I telling you this? Every building you have come across was once a drawing. So the architect drew it on paper before we could see anything concrete. Every company in existence was once an idea. Every movement you see today was once a thought. We see people, with all the protests going on, those things were once thoughts. Every nation is built first where? In the mind, before it is built in parliament. Every nation is built in the mind before it is built in parliament. What are you teaching your students? Who are you helping them become? Proverbs says, as a man thinketh, so is he. For those who are Christians, I know that we have a mixed audience. So a nation would eventually become what enough people think. A nation will eventually become what enough people think. People think people think according to how they are formed. And who shapes minds? Teachers. Parents, don't discount yourself because you're also a teacher. Teachers shape minds, not politicians. Teachers, not celebrities. Teachers, not influencers. Teachers. So if you've been looking at yourself as information distributors, stop it. You're a formation architect. You have the responsibility of formation. And parents, this applies to you too. You have that responsibility of formation. I hope you've taken note of that. I hope you've taken note of that before I go to my next point. Now, I want to tell you something. Let me get your comments. Have you taken note of that? Stop discounting yourself from forming people, forming your students. Stop discrediting yourself. Stop thinking that it is the work of politics. You are the one responsible for shaping the minds that are going out there. Now, I want us to look at something. Every teacher teaches two curricula. That's the plural of curriculum. Every teacher teaches two. The first one every teacher will teach is what? The curriculum written on paper. The second thing, or the second curricula a teacher teaches is the curriculum written in behavior. Two things. Curricula on paper, or curriculum written on paper, and then curriculum written in behavior. Two things. Now, the curriculum written on paper says integrity matters. The curriculum written in behavior says look at who got rewarded. Curriculum written on paper can say hard work matters. Curriculum written in behavior says this is what actually works. Let's look out for it. Okay? So always understand these things. There are two things: curriculum written on paper, curriculum written in behavior. Curriculum written in behavior would make you look at or ask the question, what happened to the last person? What happened to the last person? Children are constantly, not just children, your learners, they are constantly reading. They're constantly looking at you. What are we doing? And this is bringing me to a story this week. You've heard me, I've shared this before on one of my teachers, giving the math competition exam test questions before the math competition day to those attending his private lesson. Let me be sincere with you. Many of us focus on only one curriculum. We focus on only one curriculum. We don't focus on behavior curriculum a lot. That's why Africa is the way it is. Last week, I read so many students, many mothers were writing about their students taking WAEC and, a lot of cheating, special center, magic center, all manner of things. I want to ask you, which curriculum is winning at the moment? Which curriculum? You see teachers compromising. I have something here. It's one of my things. It says, born a lion, do not live as prey. Born a lion, do not live as prey. Pray to this world. Pray to the systems of this world. Do not live as prey. Other teachers are doing it, so you do it. Let's make extra money. Let's do this. And then you compromise students' futures, because of what can come into your pocket. Curriculum written on paper, curriculum written in behavior. Your students are watching. Things like integrity, things like truthfulness, things like kindness. your students are watching. Okay. I was talking about the WAEC. I saw so many WAEC things coming up this week. A lot of students, they went to take WAEC. They say, "Ah, if you don't pay 5,000, just know that you're not going to pass. Just know that your script will not be submitted." Who are the people doing these things? Mostly teachers. Let me tell you what is happening. Anytime we engage in exam malpractice, we're not merely cheating, we're teaching something. Can you see that if you ramble up the word cheat, you can also get teach from it. So every examination malpractice is not only cheating, we're also teaching in the process. Every examination malpractice teaches a lesson to your learners. It doesn't teach them mathematics. It's not teaching them English, but it's teaching them that results matter more than integrity. We're seeing it with our elections. You're teaching your students that results matter more than integrity. What did Esther say? If I perish, I perish. There's Professor Oti, my auntie, and she was saying something. She said, if I perish, I perish. Madu, oh Madu Gemeya. I know that the system is biting hard, but your students are watching. So don't just think that you're helping children. You're teaching them something. You're teaching them that results matter more than integrity. And you know what happens? Everything that we teach and we continue to, we repeatedly teach will eventually become culture. We can see it. The harvest is everywhere we look. If you look at Senate, the harvest is there. You look at LG, local governments, the harvest is there. State governments, the harvest is there. You look at ministries, you go to ministries, if you don't settle, the harvest is everywhere because we've repeatedly taught something that has become a culture. We've repeatedly taught that thing that has become a culture. Are we still following? Are we following? Are we following? Let me know if you're following. Can you hear me as well? We're rounding up shortly. It's not we have a few more minutes to go. Are you following? Let me know. Let me know maybe with a thumbs up or you're following. Let me know. Okay. I'm just going to see if I can see any comments. Yes. Okay. There's something, again, I have it in this book, Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. I don't know why I'm just talking about him. And he talks about the monk's mirror. The monk's mirror. It is the discipline of seeing yourself clearly, not as you wish you were, not as you present yourself, but as you actually are. The discipline of seeing yourself clearly. And I want you to imagine that you have a mirror. I want you to imagine that you have a mirror in front of you. You're not looking at your fine face, No. I want you to look at a mirror. What do you see? What do you see? When you think about what you're doing with your students, what do you see? Do you see do you see yourself encouraging curiosity? Or do you see yourself just, let's just comply? Do you see yourself encouraging courage or enforcing fear? Do you see yourself building critical thinking? Or you're just saying, I beg, memorize, memorize. Give me this answer verbatim. Do you see conviction or an obsession with credentials? What do you see? Everywhere you go, there is a harvest of what you're pushing into your learners. everywhere you go. So I wrote a post the other day about credential obsession. So many of us are obsessed with credentials. You want before a teacher goes for a training now, the next thing you say, is there going to be certificate? But has learning happened? Has formation happened? We're not asking those questions. And so we're raising students who are so obsessed with certificates that the other components that they're to be building, character, resilience, kindness, the soft skills, they're lacking them. I'm going to say this again to you. Your learners are looking at you. Anytime you want to cheat a child, cheat a system, ask yourself, what am I teaching? Because if we break cheat down, it turns to teach. Just scramble the words. You see, cheat gives you teach. So ask yourself, am I cheating or am I teaching? Am I cheating or am I teaching? See, I know it's Democracy Day. And so I'm going to say just a little about democracy. Democracy is not, I do not believe that it is first political. I don't believe it is. It is not a political achievement. I believe it should be, even though it's not what we see, it should be character achievement. Democracy should be character achievement. Character achievement. Somebody can write that down. Why am I saying this? Because a nation cannot vote itself into integrity. A nation cannot vote itself into integrity. No nation can vote itself into integrity. What happens? A nation must educate itself into integrity. A nation cannot legislate itself into wisdom. A nation educates itself into wisdom. You can take notes if you want. A nation cannot educate itself, cannot vote itself into integrity, rather. A nation educates itself into integrity. A nation cannot legislate itself into wisdom. A nation educates itself into wisdom. I'm being very careful with my choice of words. A nation cannot elect itself into critical thinking. A nation educates itself into critical thinking. Are you following? The future of any nation is not decided in parliament first. It is decided in your classroom. Whatever your classroom looks like, online, in physical classrooms, your home classroom with your children. The future of any nation is not decided in parliament first. It's decided in your classroom. It is decided in your classroom. So if you never ask a child to evaluate an argument, that child becomes a citizen who can never evaluate a manifesto. If a child cannot evaluate an argument, he can never become a citizen who evaluates a manifesto. If you punish a child for always asking you questions, he becomes an adult who stops asking those questions. And we've been planting those seeds for years. We can decide today to plant different ones. We can decide. Don't just think that democracy is about the president in Nigeria, for instance, wherever you're following from, celebrating, they're coming into power. I want you, after this session this night, to go and think about the seeds that you're planting for those things to come into power. Those seeds you're planting. Now I'm going to say this to you. Okay, I'm just looking at YouTube. Are you still following? We're almost done. So every day in every school, something happens. You close your door, right? I remember going late for some lectures, and the teacher would say, "You can't enter my classroom." And so you stand outside begging. Or if you are doing audition, you go back to your hostel. And then sometimes you would even be told to kneel down. Yeah. So every day in every school, something remarkable happens. The classroom door closes. You close your door. No more students can enter this class. And sometimes I think that educators see it as, this is my moment. So it could be a moment of privacy. But I want you to start seeing it as a moment of responsibility. Each time you want to start a lesson, it is a moment of responsibility. Each time you close the door and you're like, this is my class, I'm in my territory now, it's a moment of responsibility. Every time you close the door, every child, let me say you're teaching 60 children, or you have 60 children, they enter into your care. And I don't just mean 60 children, the future of 60 children enter your care. If you're teaching 100, I've heard teachers who say they have 120 students, 120 children or learners' futures enter your care. Let me tell you something. And I think this is one of the things, this is a consciousness I live with. A politician can influence a citizen every 4 years. Is it not so? Politicians, that's what they do. Every 4 years, they influence us. Everybody's campaigning. Those that are sharing bags of rice are sharing. Those that are doing the legwork are doing. So politicians influence citizens for at least 4 years. Okay? But you, a teacher, you influence citizens every day. Every day you're influencing citizens. Stop looking at your students as just students. So after all, this is just a primary one child, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, five. They are citizens. You're influencing each one every single day. So my question is, what are you building? What are you building? If Nigeria's future walked into your classroom tomorrow, would you recognize it? If Nigeria's future walked into your classroom tomorrow morning, would you recognize it? If Nigeria's future walked into your classroom tomorrow morning, would you recognize it? Would you recognize it? So every day, Nigeria's future is working in. Ghana's future is working in. Somalia's future is working into your classroom. In your home, every day your children wake up. The future is awakened in your home. Every day your students come into your class and sit down. Nigeria's future has sat down. Ghana's future has sat down. I want you to see differently. Not just I am a teacher. I want you to see the kind of learners that you're bringing up. Every day a student walks into your classroom, the future of a country has walked into your classroom. Each time they sit down, the future of a country has sat down in your classroom. That should make you sober, and that should make you rethink how you teach your students. It should make you think about, what have I decided to do for the next 40 minutes or 60 minutes, however long your session is? What am I going to do differently? Not what am I just going to, they said we should cover photosynthesis. I like photosynthesis. They said we should cover this. They said we should cover that. No. What are you going to do differently for the next 40 to 60 minutes that you have with those students? Never forget that. Every day students work into your classroom, a country A nation's future has walked into your classroom. What you do with the 40 to 60 or 75 minutes you have with them matters. Are we still following? Are we still following? I'm just trying to look up YouTube and know how we are doing. Are we still following? Let me know. Okay, let's go on. Somehow I think that we can become blind to some of the things that we do. So you miss a few things. And there's a day every teacher will miss. Your students will grow up, they face difficult situations. You will face them. Some days nobody from your school is present. A time will come when there will be no examination, there will be no principal, there will be no parent. A time like that will come. There will be no audience, there will be nobody to clap. But what will remain? Character. Every lesson that you have taught will reveal itself. Everything that you have passed across to your learners will reveal themselves. Your students won't be with you forever. Your children won't be with you forever. But in those moments when they are not with you, will courage speak? Will courage speak? Will integrity speak? Will wisdom speak? Will responsibility speak? Or will convenience speak? Many of us are just living lives of convenience now. Will character speak? That's the true examination. And we need to start building for those days. Nigeria will not, the African countries that we're seeing and all the problems we're seeing will not be the way they are if we're conscious of what we're building. If we're conscious of what we're building. Let me say a few things to you. I'm rounding up. The future of AI is also the future of humanity. So those of you who are afraid of AI, the future of AI is the future of humanity. And if you don't know, my background is in AI. So there's a lot of predictions, models, and how do I say this and put it very, very, very relatably? I spent some of my time, studying what, different things about AI, the future, what's coming. I've come to one particular conclusion. The future is not necessarily a technology problem. It's a human problem. It's still a human problem. Why do I say that? I don't know if you've heard this. There's AI for good and there's AI for bad. And so people can use AI and build good things. And some other people are using it to destroy all manner of things. AI will amplify whatever human beings already are. AI will amplify whatever human beings already are. So if you are wise, it will amplify wisdom. If you're creative, it will amplify creativity. If you are compassionate, it will amplify compassion. If you're dishonest, it would amplify dishonesty. AI will amplify whatever human beings already are. Even when you're working with all these AI tools, as you're thinking, even the Bible talks about our thoughts. What's that passage on thoughts now? As a man thinketh, so is he. So what you're thinking and keying into those things, if you're wise, it will amplify wisdom. If you're creative, it will amplify creativity. If you're compassionate, those are the things it will amplify. If you're looking for things to, further humanity, those are the things it will amplify. If we are corrupt, it will amplify corruption because you'll be looking at how can I cheat? Those are the kind of prompts you'll be keying in there. So the question we should start asking ourselves is, or let me put it this way. The most important question in this age of AI is not what technology are we building? It is what kind of human beings are we becoming? What kind of human beings are we raising? That's why you see some children go and they are playing all manner of nasty games because we haven't taken the time to build those learners. So that question will continue to come back to us as educators. What kind of human beings are you building? What kind? Okay? Okay, as we round up, you may have seen some of these posts as well. And it's a question that started disturbing me. If teachers are architects and custodians of the future, who is building the architects? Who is building you? If teachers are shaping minds, who is shaping your mind? Who is shaping the teacher? If teachers are responsible for transformation, who is investing in their formation? Are you following? They're doing all these things. Who is shaping you? Who is responsible for your transformation? Who is investing in your formation? Many of you are um, unfinished, victims of an unfinished system. Many teachers are unfinished. So they give you a curriculum, they give you a classroom, they give you a timetable, but nobody gives you a map, a blueprint for shaping human beings, for shaping how they think, for shaping how creative they can become. And so you're stuck. Let's copy notes. Let's memorize the answers. You shuffle all the questions, A, B, C, D, and the students cram those things. And so you get your certifications. You're certified, but you're not formed. You're qualified, but you're not awakened. And I really hope that this session is, doing something to you. Certification without formation. Qualification without awakening. We have problems on our hands. Trained, but not fully developed. And as I was thinking about these things, I was like, we have work. Those things have disturbed me for years. One thing I'm going to say to you is that the future of Africa will be determined by the extent to which we finish the people responsible for finishing our children. The future of Africa, nobody is absolved from this thing. The future of Africa will be determined by the extent to which we finish the people who are responsible for finishing our children. So even if you're a parent and your children go to British International and American, International and all those schools, good for you. I'm happy for you. But there's real work. Okay. So, I want you to spend some time before we round up in another 5 minutes. Let me know what hits you the most. And I'm not here to do workshops. I hope we can have these, YouTube sessions more regularly, more live sessions, maybe on a weekly or fortnightly basis. We'll just have one session, come here, speak for 45 minutes to 60 minutes, and we'll go. And so all of these things, as I was reflecting on Nigerian democracy today, I was like, this is it. This is the thread. This is it. That's how, we started talking about teacher architect finishing school. Who is finishing these teachers? Because even in the teacher training colleges, there's a lot happening there, a lot of underground work happening there. And people come out as teachers and you cannot recognize them. That these are the people who are to shape the next generation. Africa needs teacher architects. Africa needs teacher architects. Africa needs teacher architects. Not just teachers, accidental teachers. No, Africa needs teacher architects. We have work to do and we have ground to cover. And sometimes I'm asking myself, like, what kind of questions will heaven be asking about life, about your life, about my life? What kind of questions? Not how much money did you make? Not how many followers did you have? Not how many certificates did you collect? Not how many titles sat before your name. Maybe to be asking simpler questions. Heaven may be asking simpler questions, maybe even harder ones. What did you do with the people I placed in your care? What did you do with the children? What did you do with their minds? What did you do with the possibilities? What did you do with the futures? What did you do with the influence you had, even if it's in your small school? One day at the end of your career, you're going to stand and give, you're going to give record. And the greatest questions will not be what did your students score? Did they get the best jam results? But who did they become? What did you do? What role did you play in their becoming? As we round up, I want you to think about this. Imagine you meet your former student 25 years from now. Imagine, so maybe close your eyes. Imagine you meet your students 25 years from now, maybe a particular student. Then they're working towards you. They're older, they're more successful, they're confident, they're vocal. And then they say to you, oh, Madam Esther, you probably don't remember me. Oh. And they're right. You may not remember them, but I remember you. When nobody believed in me, you did. When everybody else gave up on me, you didn't. One thing you did, you did this and it changed my life. You changed my future. I came back because I needed you to know that you mattered. Would that not be enough for you? I know that moment is waiting for somebody in the future. That person is on this call. That moment is waiting for you. That moment is waiting for you. Another thing, as I looked at Alex Ekubo's funeral this week and just looking at the tributes over the past few weeks, not funeral, his service of songs, I said I would let you people know something. One day you will teach your last lesson. One day you will teach your last lesson. One day you will mark your last script. One day you will answer your final question. One day you will write your final report. One day you will close your register for the final time. One day your career will end, but your influence will not. I want that moment to stay with you. One day you will mark your last script. One day you will deliver your last lesson. One day you will mark the register for the last time. One day your career will finally end, but your influence will not end. Why? Because there will be a doctor carrying your voice. There will be a leader carrying your conviction. There will be a parent carrying your wisdom. A parent will remember that you stood by their child. There's a woman, I don't even remember. One day she called me. My mom takes works in the morning. And she said, Onyekachi's mommy. Where is Onyekachi? I want to speak to her. And so my mom called me on WhatsApp call. And she said, I want to thank you. You may not remember, but in your primary 2, you gave up all your breaks to teach my daughter maths. I was so little that time that I remembered though, but she was like, you may not remember. And that because of you, She passed maths from primary two. All the teachers had said there was nothing, but you used to stay back after your break time. You will not go. You will sit with her. One day, that one day is coming. A parent will carry your wisdom. There will be a citizen who will be carrying your courage. See, I strongly believe that many people live one life, but teachers live thousands of lives. A part of a teacher continues to work every day. A part of a teacher continues to work every day. So if you've come across 4,000 students in your lifetime, a part of you is moving across them. Be intentional with what you're doing. Be intentional with what you're doing. Be intentional with what you're doing. Don't look at yourself as just, I am a teacher. One day. History will remember presidents. There are all manner of books on presidents. History will remember kings. History will remember generals. But one thing I want you to carry is that each one of these people sat before a teacher. Before any title, there was a teacher. Before leadership, teacher. Before influence, teacher. Before there was a nation, teacher. There were teachers who were shaping the citizens. Teachers. There's a passage in Isaiah that says, you'll be called the repairer of broken walls. And I want you to carry, if you're a Christian, I know we may have mixed people here, people of mixed faith. I want you to carry that with you, that you're a repairer, not an observer, not a complainer. You're a repairer. And that repair begins in your classroom. It begins tomorrow, or Monday. It begins with your learners in front of you. A repairer. A repairer. We have a choice to constantly inherit the interruptions that we're seeing, or we can continue construction. We have a choice. We are the ones. Nobody is coming to save us. On Monday, the classroom door will close again. And when that door closes, I want you to build carefully. I want you to teach with intention. I want you to teach like your life depends on it. Nations are being built there. The future is walking into your classroom. Teach your lessons with intention. Work with your students with intention. Make your decisions with intention. Do good. Do good teaching, not just do good. Do good teaching, like your life depends on it. This is an opportunity to say Happy Democracy Day. I hope this stirs something in your heart. This is my life's work. My life's work is my devotion to the African education system. So this is also an opportunity to let you know that we have the Teacher Architects Finishing School, and you should join it. I'm very intentional about how African teachers are shaping the next generation. So if you've been seeing our post about it, this is an opportunity to join it. What we've done here this evening is just just the tip of the iceberg. So Monday is coming. The door is closing again, not for the school, but for your learners. I want you to join the Teacher Architects Finishing School. We gave some free part scholarships. It's an opportunity for you to invest in yourself. Don't invest in Ashwebi. The greatest investment you should make is in yourself. Don't say government is not paying us well. This thing will pay you. I'm serious. It will pay you and it will change your mindset. So that's it from me for tonight. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Let me know before we call it a night. And if the team can drop the link to the Teacher Architects Finishing School, that would be good. If you can join, that would be good. Let's have as many people who are changing the narrative about teaching. Okay? If the team can drop in the chat section, if you have missed it in the comments on WhatsApp, please check again. They'll drop it there on WhatsApp. But let me know how you're feeling. And let me know what you're going to do differently on Monday morning. And what you're thinking differently. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? I'm not seeing comments coming in. Let me know. You're feeling good. Okay. Are you going to do something different on Monday? Let me know. Are you going to do something different on Monday? Okay. So we're going to call it a night. I apologize for the glitches that we had earlier on, but it's been lovely spending this 1 hour, I think, with you guys. So have a really lovely weekend. Um, and go and do great things on Monday. Go and do great things on Monday. Okay? Good night.